sign off.
Okay. So as you're aware, as a continent, we have been through so many things as young women and girls. And one thing that I realize is less research has been done on issues that are pertinent to young women and girls. In most of the time, young women and girls have been classified either as girls or as women. But there's this gap between the age of 18 to 35 that is mostly not considered, or even 24. They're nowhere to be found. So if you Google online and look at the pertinent issues that young women and girls are facing, most of the time you'll see a general information on women issues, forgetting that there are specific issues that even we need to address for young women and girls. And I categorize them into three. We have social issues and political issues and economical issues. And in the social issues, one that came out strongly was gender-based violence. Recently, when the pandemic came in, we saw an increased rate of gender-based violence. And in South Africa, we saw that it was among the highest ranked country with increased femicide cases within the African continent. Kenya, as a country, we had 42 of our young women, 42% from the age of 15 to 49 that are going through gender-based violence within our country. And 20% of our girls are going through female genital mutilation. We also saw the same in Sierra Leone, where even the president pronounced an emergency on the rape cases and gender-based violence because of a case of a young girl that was defiled by a family member, leading to the downer part of her body going numb. And such cases has led to look at why is it that our young women and girls are going through so much, yet we are looking to achieve the Agenda 2063 of the AU. And then the second is the education, the quality of education that our girls get sector. In places in my country and even within the African continent, young girls are missing out because of issues on menstruation. Why? Because they lack menstrual products, that is one. Or two, they are not able to they're not able to stay in school because of cramps and they don't know where to go. So what do? They decide to stay home, and that will be in a week, in a month, around 5 days. When we total it in a year, it's around 100 days. So girls end up missing out a lot within the setup or the school setup. So for them to achieve it becomes really hard. And then another thing I saw, it was the increased rate of unhealthy abortion, where young women and girls and even women in general, there have been an increase. I saw research by WHO where it says each year 6 million women go through the unhealthy abortion, and then in that 27,000 of them actually end up dying, and 1.7 what happened to them is they get to be hospitalized because of such cases. So what are we saying? And this is because our culture or our environment has made it for a young woman, when they become pregnant, then it's a bad thing. Like, oh, what will my parents say? What will happen to me? So they close it up and they decide to use unhealthy or go to places where they get the abortion done, but not in a legal way. And it's because as African countries, most of us have illegalized abortion to an extent that we are having most of our young girls going through that, you see. And then within the political setup, we have seen our young women mostly marginalized in twice. One, as a young woman, you're marginalized for being in the youth sector. They favor the young men compared to the young woman. So you are thrown out within the youth sector. When you go to the women side, we have the older women who now say, Esha, you have time. Why are you coming here? So you're not given a chance there. So you're staying in the middle without knowing what to do within the political sector. And then here we find that we are looking at increasing the number of women in the years to come in leadership position. We cannot do that if then we are not mentoring or we are not giving them the opportunity to learn from the older women. And I'm happy that I have gotten this opportunity, which is really huge, to hear and to be part and parcel, to share my story and also give or share scenarios of what young women are going through, so that we can all realize that it's important to be deliberate in giving young women opportunities to be heard and to voice out their issues. And something that I also saw that, and because that we are pushing for gender equality and close the gender gap, young women and women are given just tokenism opportunities. For example, if you want women within a particular space in the government position, they just pick any woman just to show that they have a woman, because of loyalty or their own interest. And then that is not serving us well, because if this woman, it doesn't deliver, then it has locked us out as young women, because then how will they give women opportunities if those are there are not performing, you see? So the political setup also is not that good for young women, especially how expensive it is. In Kenya right now, we have elections, and it is very hard for young women to get through. We had so many women go and apply to become or to be elected, but then through negotiations, we saw some of them not getting to be among the aspirants who are going to be vied or to be voted for in the coming general elections. Why? Because the environment is still not good, or is still not at 100 for women, and especially for young women, And then lastly, I looked at the economic opportunities, and one thing that came strongly was the climate change. I think this day and age, we have seen a lot of issues regarding to climate change. And it's because of that, it will be hard for us as women in general, and young women also, not to be able to achieve our right to education, our right to health, our right to all that we desire, because then there's so many things that are coming that are hindrance to us. But one thing that I wanted to say was, I think it's high time that we are deliberate in how we are looking to grow. And I acknowledge what our founding mothers have done, our mothers, and now the leaders that we have are doing in regarding to make sure that the space for young women is there, and is growing and expanding. But then we'll have to do more to make sure that we bridge the gaps and close the gaps that young women are going through, so that we have so many of us taking up these spaces, and it doesn't become a hassle in the end, and the young woman says, why should I stress myself, yet I can get a man, get married, and stay at home, and the man decides to provide for me. I think with this, Clara, then we'll be able to increase. And I'm happy again now that we are deliberate in seeing us, or many of us, in such spaces, and celebrating the unsung heroines all over the country, especially for the young women, and getting to bridge that intergenerational disconnect that has been there, by having both young women and older women just to discuss and see how now do we come together to make sure that we push the agenda of women together. Then we are going to be better.
Thank you very much. You took the cue and put me on the spot. So I'll just take one question so we can actually be in tandem with our timing. There is something very critical that the last speaker mentioned. She spoke about the feminine spirit. And I think it's this imbalance that is actually creating a lot of these challenges in our continent. So looking at the role you are playing in developing the mental state of the girl child to believe in herself, we have a critical issue with young girls being married off at a young age in the continent of Africa. And religion does play a very critical role for this. How do we mitigate this to tell a girl that, or to tell parents that a little girl should first find her feet in the world, know who she is, before you hand her over to the care of a man, because she's not an object?
It's true. Early marriages are happening until today. We are speaking this, and we're in the 21st century, and we're still seeing 15-year-olds getting married early. And for me, it's not about telling, it's about showing them that if we educate a girl, then you are creating a better society for everyone else. And how do we show them? By having women leaders that are not just doing well, but proof of what women can be and what we are supposed to be in this society. If we continue and if we are consistent in showing that, consistent in telling the stories of young or women that are doing well, consistent in putting the or portraying women with a better or with a good view within the mainstream media, social media, and even how we speak about women, then that can happen. Because I believe most of the parents are doing it. It could be an economic issue, but they're doing it because we still see there is that preference between the boys and the girls. There is that ish when you talk about a girl, oh, a girl can just get married, like, get some money. But now if they see that we have a doctor who is a lady and she's also good with her family, she's married and she's taking care of her family, and she can still be a doctor, then the parent will get like, okay, my daughter can also do the same. We have a president. We just in the other time we were speaking of so many presidents, and most of them are married and they have families, they have kids, and we hear that some of them maybe are the third or the fourth wives. So it means it can happen. It's just that the society needs to see more of that. And because when a person sees, I remember I posted and say, you can only be when you see. And if you cannot see, then you can never be. So we have to see more and more often. And as we do that, we should also bring in or make sure that we mainstream some of the things that we're talking within the government, because with that it becomes easier for us to be accountable and say, we said this, or the constitution says it, why is it that we are not following? Because with that, then we are intentional about it. We can be held accountable when you don't have women in spaces, then you say we need to have a woman, and then it changes the narrative at all. Because we've spoken, I think, since we talked about the Beijing, when the Beijing started till that, we are still speaking about having women, stopping violence against women, stopping early marriages, but we still see it happening. Because I believe the society need to see more role models. We need to have more mentors mentoring young girls, because there's the aspect of the parents, but also there's the aspect of the girl herself believing that she can be. And for them to believe, they have again to see that there's a doctor that became a doctor. She learned, she saw that it's important for her to take these courses that most of the time are found difficult, and she became who she wants to be. So I think for me is, let's have more women with these spaces. And as we have more women, let's mentor more young women to take up such spaces, and also increase the number of women within these spaces. Then we cover it all. Because now when the father looks or the mother looks at the right, she sees another woman who is doing well. When they look at the other side, they see also another woman. So they have to ask, why is it that I'm the only one not doing it?
Exactly.
And when you speak of religion, I think people tend to quote what's beneficial to them. Because even with religion, like our religion, which is Islam, we have seen Muslim. I had one of the speakers spoke and said years back we had women taking over and were very deliberate in what they're doing, especially in leadership roles. So in our leadership, there is Khadija, who is the first wife of the Prophet, who was a businesswoman, and she was doing exemplary well. So I feel for me, religion is most people pick what they want to pick, not considering what they are doing to that young woman. And I believe, and I'm saying it again, we have to empower our girls. We have to put them in spaces, and not that put them, we have to make them believe of the power that they have in them, of the power that they possess that they've had forgotten about, for them to take up and put and make sure that they're not just there, but they are accountable in the spaces and they're doing exemplary well.
Absolutely on point. Thank you once again, Esha. It's always a delight speaking with you, and the passion is very, very tangible. And I'm very, very happy that we're bringing all this into the front burner, and we must continue these narratives until Africa is ushered into its golden age. And I'm sure we will get there. Thank you very much once again, Esha Abdullah Mohammed, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we'll go on now to a break, and we're going to take a very special woman who is a poet. Claire Merdes is an award-winning German-based poet. She worked in the health sector and is an author of 4 books: 3 co-authored books, and 2 books pending for launching. She's a poet, a speaker, and have participated in various health talks. She's currently researching on nursing experiences of family. She's a carer of older people with other life-threatening diseases at the end of life phase of their lives in an old people's home, and a believer in helping others. In her own little way, she believes she's a voice who speaks through her poems for the many injustices going on in Nigeria, which is her native country. She believes that her country deserves better, and she believes that God helping her, she could use her poems to draw attention to this issue. I present to you Clara Maddox, an award-winning poet.
Hello, everyone. Can you unmute my video? Are you hearing me?
Yes, check your video again.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay.
Check your video, you should be good.
Well, you can see me.
No, we can.
I don't know. I've tried to.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear from our side. Check it again.
I've done it and it's not responding.
Are you on a laptop or on a cell phone?
I'm on a laptop. So it's telling me it should be from your side.
No, everything is, I'm checking the settings. Everything is good here.
So if you can see me, you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
So I'm
we can
trying
hear
now.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me
So
check.
you can still go on try to see if you can get me through the video, because it's always nice for people to see my face when I'm talking.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, before I go on, I would like to thank Joy for making it possible for me to be a part of this program and the crew. It's been so amazing, and I must commend each and every speaker. We have all to take home with this evening. I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining. And like Clara, my namesake, has rightly introduced me, I'm Clara Mayadiax. I'm based in Germany, and I am a voice, and one of the voices that is representing this dignified woman called African. And who is an African woman? For me, she's a queen, a hidden hero. She's a mother of a nation. She's a daughter, sister, wife, and an all-rounder. She is in a man's assumed world. She is strong. Yeah. An African woman manages a home. She's that natural leader men scarce to recognize in their assumed world. Oh, she's an African woman, an epitome of beauty and good leadership. Tell me about politics, and I will think of an African woman. She's that star that men fear to celebrate in leadership. She's bold, intelligent, and born leader. She's marginalized and suppressed in African continent, but she never gives up. Yes, an African politician in today's context should be a man, is a man who believes he's born to rule, who thinks he should be the president, the prime minister, and everything that has to do with leadership. Now, what is the difference? About 98% of women can do that easily. They did it successfully in the past as presidents and prime ministers. Why not now? Ethiopia and Tanzania are still upholding the flags. How about others? How about Nigeria? Today's woman is different. She's elegant, she's intelligent, she can, yes, she is able. Women are multitasking beings, enterprisers, multipliers, advocators, mediators. Families make community, and communities collectively make a nation. Women have the natural reset, which can be used in politics for today's Africa. Look at nations. Nations are being run. Nations that are run by women. Women are disciplined. They are organized. They're hardworking. They want the best for their homes. They want the best for their homes, so also the children. So would they, for the nation, we should educate our daughters, show them the way to education. They are the mother of nations. Politics, leadership, and women. Who said women can't? Women of Africa could be answers to our ailing problems. Women are promising. They are practical. They are realistic. They are economics. They are proactive. They're progressive. They are productive. Wake up, Africa, to this challenge. Give women a space. Allow women their places in politics. Politics is not only about men, it's also about women. Women can do it. They can also do it better. So give women a chance. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Clara. That was a beautiful poem spotlighting the role women have to play in all that we do in Africa, and to also be able to understand that this role is critical. Can Benga please unmute my video?
There's nothing wrong with your video.
My video is muted from your end.
Yes, it's kept on telling me that my video is muted from your end, and that's why you can't see me. Yeah.
It says
Okay.
You cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
No, okay. Check it again. Okay. Check it. All right.
Yes, I'm back on now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, no
It's
problem.
technology, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, and we'll have to keep on, adjusting as it does go on. We're almost coming to the end of the program. Because of technical hitches at the beginning, I didn't think that Dr. Penelope would be able to present her paper. She had some technical hitches and timing issues with us. So I decided to just take questions from her from the beginning, but I meant to realize that she's back on and is intending to present her paper. Because of timing issue, I think we'll need to shift that down a bit once we take on the next two materials, and then we then take on her presentation before we sign off on the program today. So I'd like to hand over to Joy for a digital exhibition slideshow of the unsung heroines of Africa, who are the people we're celebrating today. Hi, Joy, is the video ready? Awesome. Okay, so we're back on. All right, now we see you, Ms. Clara. And I'm so sorry about the technical issues earlier. You know, it's part of what technology does for us. So we're going to go right into Dr. Penelope's short presentation before I hand back over to Joyce. But before I hand over to Dr. Penelope, I'd like us to please internalize this when we eventually leave this platform. From the far-flung rustic villages in Africa, every woman who have trekked miles and miles to go and get water for her family, every woman in the villages in far-flung areas in Africa that stays by those rustic mud roads to sell little things to keep to the upkeep of her family, they are all part of who we're celebrating today, because these are the women who have trained presidents, ministers, doctors, engineers, and today has been specifically chosen to celebrate them. So when we walk away from this summit today, let's continue to have that at the back of our mind, that the African feminine spirit is a critical stakeholder in ushering Africa into its golden age. So I hand over to you, Dr. Penelope, for your presentation.
Thank you very much, Clara. I would once again like to acknowledge the organizers of this program for your vision and your tireless efforts in making sure that the African woman is recognized.
Dr. Penelope? Okay, great.
I would like to also acknowledge the distinguished women who spoke this afternoon, and congratulations on the tremendous work you are doing all over the continent. It's indeed a great honor to share this platform with you. And I hope what I share in the next few minutes will shed some light on ways by which we can uphold women's achievements in a world that drives an extremely hard bargain when it comes to women making groundbreaking achievements. Indeed, life is a choice. Every day presents us with many choices to make. We sometimes choose out of need. Other times out of want, and in some instances, because we really don't have any choice at all. One of the choices we all have to make, especially as women, is the choice to be relevant for generations to come. That is why I believe a topic like this is worthy of our discussion. I know I'm not shocking any of you when I say the first barrier you will have to face in achieving, you will have to make it an aim to do better than your former self every single day. You will have to develop disciplines that will stand the test of time. You will have to make it a daily decision to be true to yourself and revisit your personal visions to ensure that each day is an addition to what you set out to achieve in the first place. This means many a time cutting out of our lives and daily routines, things and people who may not in any way contribute positively to our journey. I have missed out on a fair share of important social and family functions and activities, which if not for my vision in life, I may gladly have embraced. Not pleasant at the time, but has now paid off. It is my firm belief that teamwork makes the dream work. Things can be achieved quicker and easier if we ask for help. Be sure that the team you trust agrees with you, where the goal you want to pursue is concerned, and they are ready to make the sacrifices for you. This means that you cannot be friends with just anyone, you cannot marry just anyone, and you cannot buy into just any idea social media throws at you. You will need to create an accountability group for yourself in every aspect of your life. Mentors or people who will hold you accountable for your vision, your money, your education, your time, your relationships, and your faith. As you grow, you will realize that for the most part, you will do better and best on the shoulders of those who have charted the course you are on. God, you cannot be your best without him. I am living proof that God can use anyone. There are many times when it was tough and I didn't think I would achieve the feat we are all celebrating now, but God knew he would do it. Your faith will give you strength when you are low on energy. It will be your joy when you do not see the finish line too well. It will also be your humble place because it will remind you that God did it. Practice. Always give more than 100%. Insist that you will continually get better in the field you find yourself in. Get all the education you need in your line of work. Invest in books, videos, documentaries, and anything that stirs up interest and even exposes you to new ways and inventions in your field of study or your career. Dare to dream. Bring yourself to the place where you are not limited by what people say or what they do or what they think of you. Believe me, there will be many who will not know you, yet have opinions of what they expect you to live by. There will be several others who will place limitations on you and your capabilities simply because they feel intimidated by your progress. Don't allow them to. Stay your course and don't get distracted. They don't deserve your tears. In addition to the above, awards for outstanding women achievers, mentorship programs, scholarships, and platforms such as these will go a long way in encouraging women to aim high and achieve more. In conclusion, let me quote one of Ghana's and Africa's great minds, Dr. James Kwadwo Aggrey. If you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation. I would like to add and say that if indeed we want to see Africa develop in dimensions that we have never seen before, then it is high time women take up their place at the table of leadership and achievement. Thank you once again for the opportunity. God bless the African woman.
Thank you very much, Dr. Penelope, and I'm so glad we were able to accommodate this presentation. It's been an honor once again having you with us this evening. So it's actually been an extremely emotional and passionate day for me. And I don't think this will leave me in a long while. These amazing women I have shared today with, starting with Her Excellency, who has really inspired me with her views about educating the young female child who will drive the vision for her country. To each and every one of the other presenters I have spoken with, you have taught me so much. I have learned so much. I have learned how matriarchy in Africa contributed to growth of nation and to how the law can actually advance the cause of women. It's been an enriching day for me, and I hope for each and every one of you also. Thank you all very much for joining us. Please go to the chat section. There are some amazing opportunities open there, so you could connect with some of the people who are reaching out to some of the speakers. Kindly please get in touch with them. I will now like to call on Miss Abigail Adeze Ebunine to give us the vote of thanks to end the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much. As she step in, I just want to ask Her Excellency to just stick there because she's going to give us a closing remarks. Please be on the standby. So welcome, Abigail. So we are coming now to the side, to the closing part. And what I want to also, just as Abigail come in, is just to make sure that most of you are aware that it's important to always work together with the younger generation, and that's why we are working all very closely to make sure that this happens in all the events that we're doing. And I'm going to hand over now to Abigail, who missed in the first part. As you noticed when we started, she had missed, and this is her say now. Welcome, Abigail. And I see you and I celebrate you today because you have been hero in all this organization. And as we go on to the second part of the closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you, Ms. Sarah Okoro. I'm short of words, honestly. It's been such an inspirational session. And I want to say a very big thank you to all our esteemed guest speakers. I've learned so much. It's been a powerful and very encouraging session with our guest speakers. And just before we round up, I think I would like to highlight a few things which I've picked up from our guest speakers. And I think it's very important that we drive the point home because they've spoken so well, extensively on so many topics relating to African women. And it's important that we take the message home. So I would start with Her Excellency, Mrs. Monica Chakwera, the First Lady of Malawi. And she said, women and girls must be protected and empowered. And I want to champion that. And this is the first thing, something I picked up from her statements initially. And I'm so happy to hear about that because with her position, I already see that she's doing amazing. When I read her profile, I could see what she's doing with her foundation. And I'm just so happy that we have African women who are doing amazing things. So thank you so much, Your Excellency. She also said, once a girl is educated, her children will be educated. We can't, hammer this enough. It's so important. I think it's very important that we keep on ensuring that the girl child gets the education that she needs, because we might be shocked to know that in some parts of Africa, there are still places where, probably the girl child is not given that chance to be educated. And this is what our guest speakers have touched on. And it's so important that we take this message out for young girls to know that education is powerful. At least you can see that from the wonderful panelists we've had. Education has played a big role in all of this. So thank you so much, Your Excellency. And then I also want to touch on what Dr. Adinku said. She said there's a lot of work to be done to educate the public. Now, this is, again, so much work has to be done. This is just the beginning. Again, Africa's Women Day, we're here to create awareness and touch on topics that, matter a lot pertaining to the African girl child. And so we need to keep on doing the work to spread that news. And she also said that this program will lead to empowering women and will also give us a voice. I certainly agree with that. I for one have been inspired, and I'm so eager to keep on achieving what I have to achieve as an African woman, not minding any hindrances. And then I also want to touch on what my Lord, Honorable Justice Florence Ikoma Dura-Igwe has said. She said that the African woman is a phenomenon which can never be celebrated enough. And again, we can see what's happening. We've seen all the 31 women we've spotlighted this month, and their achievements. It's been so inspirational, from the volunteer in a village in Cameroon to a wildlife veterinary doctor, to a CEO, the CEO of Rwanda Air, to lawyers, to members of parliament. We have featured so many amazing women. And this is why this theme for this year is honestly so inspirational, because you can see these women across various fields doing amazing things. And my Lord also said that until equality is achieved, the struggle continues, and we must take the message to the grassroots. Every woman must know her rights. I mean, we can't emphasize this enough. The message has to get down to, the least women. And again, this is something that I think we should all talk about and know how we can, foster this through this platform. Any help we can get to ensure that women who are, just like Joy had said, or just like Ms. Clara said, actually, the women we're celebrating today are those women who are, not known. They are women who have trained, their children and produced engineers, doctors, just by selling fish on the roadside, or just by, frying bean cake. These are amazing women, because without their contribution and their, their sacrifices, we wouldn't have, those professionals as we have today. So I think my Lord made a very interesting point. And then also going ahead to the other speakers, we have Dr. Justina, who said that the story of the African woman, the African woman girl child, has been told through the shadow of the father and the husband. And it's so important that we know these things, because again, we are the only ones that can tell our story. And this is why this session is so important. This day is so important. We have to keep on telling our story, because only us can do that. And then Ms. Esha Mohammed spoke as well. She's such an inspiration because we had her earlier on this month, and she did amazing. She inspired a lot of people through her boldness and her wisdom, and we're so thankful. And then finally, Dr. Adinku closing with that excellent speech. I just don't know what to say. It's amazing. One thing that I took out from there is that God can use anyone and to stay focused. So I'm just so thankful for this opportunity. It's been awesome. And I like to also thank the Ianu Band for the great music that they gave us during the first break, and also Mrs. Clara Hagen, Mederedix. I hope I pronounced the name well, but thank you so much for the poem that you gave. This has all joined to make this session awesome. Thank you also to Ms. Clara. Ms. Clara, you were born to do this. That's what I can say. You were born to do this, and you're admired. So thank you so much for leading the discussion. And I also want to give a chance to our team members who are behind this event to at least introduce themselves for 2 minutes, because this whole event would never have taken place without the efforts and sleepless nights some people have put in to make it happen. So I'll start with myself. I'm Ms. Abigail Adeze Onibunye from Nigeria. I am a medical physiologist and I'm also a graphic designer. And I'm very happy to be amongst this team to keep on creating awareness for this day. So I'll just hand over to the other team members. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to, I thought Mavis and Benga and as well, Raman, please put your camera on so that people see who are these people behind, as Mavis said. And I've been the one who's been coordinating in the back end. The ladies here, Abigail has done really amazing. All these flyers just seeing here, it's them. So I also want to give the men, we also have the men in their background, and I can see Benga there. Please go ahead. Gentlemen, don't be shy. Join us here on the stage. I know you have been saying you're working in the background, but we appreciate you. Go ahead, Benga, and introduce yourself.
Hello, good morning. My name is Benga Subai. Honorable Madam First Lady, the Honorable My Lord, and to all the distinguished guests and my team members, thank you very much. Happy African Women's Day, and it's always special and historic when celebrating this monumental occasion. And as always, when women do well, Africa does well. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Maybe as well, put your camera on as Raman is coming in. Please go ahead, Raman, the stage is yours. You're muted.
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Raman. I am from Nigeria. I actually live in Abuja, and I'm excited for this day, especially for the women. I don't want to express my entire excitement because I should be dancing from over here, but it's okay. Thank you guys, I'm grateful.
Thank you for your time and helping us in the background, getting structured and organized. That's the work of supportive team and with others. So Mavis is the lady who was compiling all those ladies who you saw in the list. Mavis, go ahead and mute yourself. We want to see you. Yes, unmute yourself. We understand technical is not always on the side.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. My name is Mavis Owusu. I'm from Ghana and I am the owner of Flavors Bakery, where I'm basically into baking of bread. I'm an author of one book called Executive Decision and also a financial consultant. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your time and the work that you do, and we appreciate it because it comes a long way of putting this information together right from we start this in really early in the year, and we are happy for your contribution and that's why we have this stage to celebrate each and every woman on this stage. So I'll just go ahead and also mention, because I've seen there in the chat a lot of questions. What is going to happen after this? Are we going now to go back and come back next year and start again? And this is something that we have been thinking as a team, and how to move this forward. And as Abigail said, we need to celebrate it. Cannot justify the time that we can have like all 31 ladies coming in here. So I wanted to also give you that we are going to follow up this thing, all the 31, and I'm hoping when we knock your door, you're gonna come, and Mavis and Abigail and Clara get ready, and as well the gentlemen will be interviewing one-to-one all these guests that we have been elevating, because we need to know more, deeper, dig deeper. As you heard, the ladies want to hear more, and the gentlemen in the chat, and that's what we are acknowledging here, that we're going to continue this. Last year we were not very well organized, but this time we're going to go to the next step, because AWD is all about awareness, and not only awareness, how can we bring the bridges together, as you heard for Panolop and also from Miss Aisha. They need to get hold of these leaders closer. And I have to say, what I listened from Pan-African Women organization that they're celebrating right now, they mentioned they have programs that are coming. So we'll be sharing them with you as well, whatever programs. We work very closely with them. They're very complementing each other, and we are actually celebrating them as we speak today. It's their work that they did before and what they're doing, and that's what we are pushing forward. And I want to say that is going to be shared with you. And on top of that, also check out all sectors that are coming up and all other organizations, women who are doing amazing work out there. And I also want to encourage you, I've seen on the chat, we have shared you all the links, and I encourage you to go to Africa's Women's Day.Africa. The link will be shared on the chat. Follow up what we have done last year, what we are doing this year. And we have a community platform. Sign up on that community platform so that we are able to reach you and when we have this information, because the information is useless if you cannot share it and you cannot reach the people. So we need to reach you only when you are able to sign up as a committee. We already have a platform of almost 900 from the last time, when you're combining it and growing it much more. And I'm very delighted to tell you that we are moving fast and very, very in the digital world. Hopefully next time we'll meet in person. We are partnering with others. If you are a sponsor and want to support our movement or even collaborate with that, we are reaching out to you to come up to support us, to make this an awareness that not in the continent especially, that people know that this day exists and it's ours. So our plans are very active, and please stay on as we get entertained. Don't go away. We have the entertainment coming up after this going on, but I want to hand over now to Her Excellency, because what her speech was very helpful, and I thought let's give her this stage again to give us a parting word so that we can really go home with something to digest. And we salute you with all the work that you're doing on the continent, being even a secondly there as a chair of many organizations, because I've seen so many organizations that you have been following up. And as well together with last year we had Joyce, Her Excellency, former President of Joyce Banda here, very powerful. We see Malawi, you have the energy we need, and we need to continue it. So thank you so much. I hand over the stage to you as you empower us as a closing remarks for today.
Thank you once again for having me today. I have also learned a lot, and I'm overwhelmed. Allow me to express my sincere gratitude to all of you for your dedication and participation in the 60th anniversary celebration for the African Women's Day. The meeting today has clearly shown that progress has been made on the continent regarding the women's empowerment. More work still needs to be done, like some presenters have already talked about. For instance, here in Malawi, we are also making progress, like you have said. We have had a female president. We have now a speaker of parliament who is a female. We have secretary to the president and cabinet who is female. The Director General of Anti-Corruption Bureau is female. The Ombudsman is female. The Director General for Financial Intelligence Authority is female. The Inspector General of Police has just been put in place just recently, is also female. And the law also does its work, like our, the presenter who was presenting on law, like she said, the law helps. We have a law that says representation, say in the cabinet, should be 40-60. It can be 40 female or 40 male, 60 women. So they should be, I mean, deliberate moving towards women taking up greater positions, doing stuff. And we have seen that this is helping a lot in putting women in important positions, and their dedication, by God's grace, those people that I've mentioned here are very well-known, strong, and they make good decisions. And so far, people have been very happy with what they have been doing, and that will be opening up avenues for other women to take up higher positions. So politically, the political will should be there. And once the political will is there and women that are given those positions or elected to those positions do well, then we'll be moving the right direction where women can take part in the development of the country and organizing stuff and things like that. So, like you said, the battle is still on. We are not there yet. Definitely, we are not there yet. And I like what our presenter said about the girls, because much as we say the leaders of the future, but they need to start now. By the time they're 24 years, like our presenter, and they know as much as our presenter does, the way she was presenting here, I'm thinking even here in Malawi, I think we'll be somewhere, we'll really be, and like you said, the younger generation in Malawi, more than half are less than 30 years old. So we need to go that direction. The cycle of poverty and gender inequality must be broken, and we must be deliberate about it. The gender gap must be closed at all costs. And as you say, deliberate efforts will help us. According to the Global Partnership for Education, women are responsible for 60% of work done globally, yet they earn 10% of income and 1% of property. Especially in Malawi, they are the ones who work a lot in the gardens and stuff, but they don't own the land, you know? So all these, the law and all other instruments and political will should help us to go in the right directions. So 70% of women are excluded financially in Africa. That's what some statistics say. And I'm like, in Malawi, for example, women are more than men. So if 70% are excluded, I think we need to work even harder. I'm so grateful for people that organized this. At least we are talking about it. At least we are working towards it. I think very soon we will be doing, yeah, we need to seriously think, seriously put effort. Like I said, both from government, stakeholders, men, women, we should all work together so that this can really move. Gender equality is a must for Africa as a continent. The way I've seen it, it's not only in, at first I thought maybe it's only in Malawi, but I think it's Africa-wide. So we need to work together so we can help. Once we hear stories like from other countries, we'll also be encouraged to say, okay, let's push this direction. Let's push that direction. Access to quality education and mentorship, for me, I think is critical. Especially mentorship, somebody was giving us speak on mentorship. I agree totally, and I even wrote down notes. I think we need to re-strategize. We started a mentorship program, but I think we are not there yet. But I've learned a lot, and I think those thoughts will help us also re-strategize how mentorship can help out with our young girls. So collaboration and coordination is what we need here in Africa. Between countries, within countries and all that, I think it will help us to move forward. So without collaboration, we cannot build the pillars our girls and mothers used to get. For them to get out of poverty, we need to strategize. And the law is also very important, like you say. If they don't own property, you know, we need to work on that as well. So in Malawi, I think they say property is owned by very few women. It's mainly male. And of course, it depends on the cultures as well. But we need to make legal resolutions. I mean, a legal resolution to say, okay, how should we make it property available to women as well? And then I think that will help us even down the line of our children. I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that closing remark, and we appreciate you for your presence today and all the guest speakers, honorable guests, doctors. We appreciate your time today, and all the listeners who have tuned in here on Zoom, as well as YouTube, as well as Facebook. We are all over Twitter, LinkedIn, name it. We are there, Clubhouse as well. I can see you're all coming in, listening. We are all there. So this time, this digital world, and we're explaining. So what I'm gonna leave you with that is, as I heard from Africa, Pan-African, is about Viva Africa, Viva, all of us that are Africa women. And the word I learned today is Malombongwe. It's part of South Africa, meaning that women moving forward. So I want to end just this session here as we welcome our band. If they're ready, we are now going to get entertained and celebrate.
Oh, the left.
Oh, sorry.
I sent a message, yeah.
Okay, unfortunately that the time has really gone fast, but we appreciate you. We're going to play the video that we showed you earlier on, and God bless you. And let's meet again, not only until 31st July, we're gonna meet you again. Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely Sunday. God bless you.
In a world where the quality of information available to poorer communities is doctored, tainted, and sometimes regressive, where the world's world where the quality of information available to poorer communities is doctored, tainted and sometimes regressive, where the words fake news have come to mean other people's opinions, it is vital to rely on news platforms with journalists who have feet on the ground and can report the truth. New York Parrot, a New York-based national and global news outlet, is changing the narratives of media operations. We focus on the news that matters, like self-empowerment, entrepreneurship, finances, health, security, politics, and more. We strive to curb violence, racial and economic discrimination, and to promote peace and socio-economic development of multiculturally diverse world. As we give voice to the people, we also give your business a voice and make it heard. Get your products and services off the ground by advertising on our fast-growing platform. With so much of daily visits to New York Parrot, you can't afford to be invisible to prospective clients on the website they trust the most. Our posts reach millions of people across the New York State and around the world. Advertising on our new site will unlock an audience of thousands of potential customers on your doorstep. New York Parrot is born to prosperously speak tomorrow for the voiceless.